the rock and roll Ghoul, a mysterious figure haunting legendary music venues, trying to sabotage rock and roll. Episode 1, Terror at CBGB. Opening scene, the Ramones van screeches to a halt outside CBGB, the legendary punk club. The neon sign flickers, casting an eerie glow. Joey, Johnny, Dee Dee, and Marky step out, guitars and drumsticks in hand, psyched for their big homecoming gig. But something's off. The streets are unusually quiet. The bouncer, a usually tough dude named Big Lou, looks pale as a ghost. "You guys sure you want to play tonight? Weird stuff's been happening." The mystery begins. Inside, the club is decked out for the show, but the crew is nervous. Bartenders whisper about the Phantom of CBGB, a ghostly figure in a torn leather jacket and safety-pin jeans, appearing only when punk bands take the stage. Last week, an opening act ran out screaming, and the sound guy quit after hearing creepy laughter coming through the speakers. Dee Dee shivers. "Sounds like a bunch of junkies having a bad trip." Johnny crosses his arms. "Or someone doesn't want us playing here anymore." Clue hunting, Joey spots a strange, scratched-up demo tape labeled The Lost Punk Anthem. Marky finds footprints leading from the dressing room to a boarded-up door in the back. Dee Dee swears he hears a ghostly voice whisper, "Hey! Ho!" New, in the empty bathroom. He was using hidden speakers, smoke machines, and old demo recordings to fake the haunting, hoping to scare bands away so he could take over the club. "I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for you meddling Ramones," he yells as the cops haul him away. Final scene, with the mystery solved, the Ramones hit the stage for a killer encore. The crowd goes wild. As the lights dim, a real ghostly figure appears in the balcony, giving a thumbs up before vanishing into the night. Dee Dee blinks. "You guys saw that, right?" Roll credits with Blitzkrieg Bop playing. Episode 2, Panic at Punk Hollow's opening scene, the Ramones van rumbles down a lonely road, headlights cutting through the fog. They're heading to Punk Hollow, a legendary recording studio hidden deep in the woods. Some of the greatest punk albums were recorded here, but lately, no band has lasted more than a night, spooked by strange noises, flickering lights, and eerie shadows lurking in the trees. "I dunno, man," Dee Dee mutters. "Recording studios shouldn't be this far from civilization." Marky smirks. "What's wrong? Afraid Bigfoot's gonna play bass?" The mystery begins. The studio is a time capsule of punk history, graffiti-covered walls, cracked leather couches, and stacks of dusty tapes. But the owner, Grizzly Greg, looks exhausted. "I don't know what's going on," he groans. Bands keep running out, claiming they hear voices on their recordings. Some say the ghost of Sid Vicious haunts this place. The Ramones laugh it off, until they start recording. Clue hunting, as they lay down tracks, the power flickers. A deep, raspy voice whispers from the speakers, "Get out, before it's too late." Dee Dee finds old tape reels labeled "Do Not Play." Joey hears distant screaming through the studio headphones, only to realize the microphone isn't plugged in. Johnny discovers deep scratches on the soundboard, like someone, or something, was trying to destroy it. That night, as the band listens to their freshly recorded track, something horrifying happens. The playback reverses, and a chilling message echoes through the room, "Turn back now." The studio is cursed. The big reveal, the Ramones stay up late, determined to crack the mystery. Following a trail of footprints, they discover a hidden basement beneath the studio, filled with old, discarded demo tapes. In the center of the room sits a broken reel-to-reel player, still running on its own. The truth? Grizzly Greg's former partner, Rotten Ricky, had been sabotaging the studio. Years ago, Ricky had been kicked out of the business for trying to steal band music. Now, he was using old recordings and hidden speakers to scare musicians away, hoping to shut down the studio for good and claim it for himself. "You punks think you're so cool," Ricky sneers. "But I was gonna be a legend. This studio should have been mine." As the cops take him away, the Ramones reclaim their song, finishing their session just as the sun rises. Final scene, as they pack up, Joey glances at the soundboard. The lights flicker once, and a ghostly voice hums the chorus of their new track. The band stares at each other. Dee Dee sighs. Okay, maybe this place is haunted. Cut to credits with Sheena is a punk rocker playing. Episode 3, the surf rock Specter opening scene. The Ramones van cruises down the California coast, surfboards strapped to the roof, even though none of them actually surf. They've been invited to headline the Tsunami Beach Bash, a massive rock festival on the sand. Bands are setting up under palm trees, and the ocean sparkles under the sun. Sun, surf, and punk rock. Joey grins. What could go wrong? Marky scans the beach. Anyone else notice the missing instruments posters? Before anyone can respond, a panicked roadie runs up. The surf rock Specter struck again. The trash cat's guitars, gone. The beach rat's drums, vanished. The mystery begins. Bands are losing their gear left and right, and the only clue? A trail of watery footprints leading into the ocean. Some claim it's the ghost of the legendary Surf King, a 1960s rocker who wiped out on a giant wave and was never seen again. Now, he's back to stop anyone from playing his beach. The Ramones refuse to back down. We're not gonna let some soggy Specter ruin punk rock, Johnny declares. Clue hunting, Joey finds a seashell wedged into an amp, covered in what looks like kelp. Dee Dee swears he saw a shadowy figure riding the waves at midnight. Or maybe I was just seeing things. I was eating a lot of weird sushi. Marky discovers the festival security cameras have all been mysteriously unplugged. Johnny hears ghostly surf guitar licks echoing from beneath the old boardwalk. That night, as they rehearse, the surf rock Specter appears. Clad in a shredded wetsuit, glowing blue with seaweed dangling from its arms, it rides a phantom wave onto the stage and lets out a bone-chilling howl. Then, poof, the band's instruments vanish into thin air. The big reveal, the Ramones set a trap. They stage a fake sound check with fake instruments, using them as bait. Sure enough, the Specter strikes, leading the band straight to a hidden cave beneath the boardwalk. Inside, stacks of stolen instruments glisten in the moonlight. The real villain? Bobby Shred McGee, a washed-up surf rocker bitter that punk had taken over the scene. Using a combo of holograms, hidden speakers, and surfboard pulleys, he had faked the ghostly heist to sabotage the festival and make room for a surf rock revival. You punks ruined music. Bobby snarls as the cops haul him away. Yeah, Dee Dee shrugs. Tell it to the Beach Boys. Final scene, the Ramones retrieve their gear just in time for their set. They blast into Rockaway Beach, the crowd going wild. As the final note rings out, Joey glances at the ocean. Just beyond the waves, a shimmering figure rides the surf, giving them a ghostly thumbs up before vanishing into the mist. Joey blinks. You guys saw that, right? Cut to credits with Rockaway Beach blasting. Episode 4, the haunted vinyl vault opening scene. The Ramones roll into a rainy, neon-lit city for a gig at a legendary punk club. While wandering the streets, they stumble upon a strange little record store tucked between two boarded-up buildings. A flickering sign reads, "The Vinyl Vault, Rare Records and Lost Sounds." Inside, it's dusty, dimly lit, and packed with obscure albums. The owner, Mad Marty, is a twitchy guy with slicked-back hair and dark sunglasses, even at night. You guys ever hear of Lenny Hex and the Hextones? He asks, pulling out a vinyl wrapped in cobweb plastic. They were gonna be the biggest thing in punk, but one night, in 1969, Lenny walked into the studio and vanished. Left behind nothing but this unfinished record. Every band that's played it says weird stuff starts happening. Joey shrugs. Sounds like a marketing gimmick to me. Dee Dee grabs the record. Only one way to find out. The mystery begins. The band takes the record back to their hotel, dusts it off, and drops the needle. A haunting, low-fi punk track crackles through the speakers. But then, boom! The lights flicker, the radio turns on by itself, and the mirror fogs up with the words, "Finish the song. Or else." That night, strange things keep happening. Joey hears distorted music playing from an unplugged speaker. Johnny sees the turntable spinning on its own. Dee Dee swears the record changed tracks by itself. Marky finds an old newspaper clipping under the record's sleeve. Lenny Hex, gone without a trace. They return to the vinyl vault, only to find Mad Marty is missing, his store abandoned, the records covered in fresh dust. The big reveal. Determined to solve the mystery, the Ramones head to an old recording studio where Lenny Hex was last seen. Inside, the walls are covered in cryptic lyrics scrawled in black ink. In the center of the room, a vintage reel-to-reel recorder still spinning, as if waiting for someone to press play. They drop the needle on the record one more time. This time, a voice hisses, "Play the final chord. Free me." Realizing Lenny's song was never finished, they grab their instruments and play along. As they hit the final note, boom, a gust of wind rips through the room, the record melts into dust, and an eerie, ghostly laugh echoes in the air. A voice whispers, "Thanks, boys, now I can finally rest." The Ramones exchange glances. Dee Dee, okay, so maybe that wasn't a marketing gimmick. Final scene, back at their gig, the Ramones play the song live for the first time, a tribute to Lenny Hex. As the crowd goes wild, a shadowy figure in a leather jacket nods from the balcony before fading away. Joey, you guys saw that, right? Cut to credits with "Do You Remember Rock and Roll Radio" playing. Episode 5, The Phantom of the Tour Bus opening scene. The Ramones are cruising down an isolated highway in their beat-up van, heading to their next show. The wind howls outside, and a storm brews in the distance. Their van suddenly sputters, and boom, the engine dies, coasting to a stop at a run-down truck stop. The place is dark, deserted, and surrounded by dense woods. The neon sign flickers, barely staying on. "This place is a dump," Johnny mutters, looking around. "Not sure this is the kind of stop we should be making." Marky pulls out his drumsticks and starts tapping them on the steering wheel. "Hey, at least we're not stuck in the middle of nowhere." Dee Dee jumps out of the van, already heading toward the diner. "Whatever, I'm hungry." Joey looks at the truck stop in suspicion. "I don't know, guys. I've heard this place is haunted, the Phantom Roadie, they call him. He's supposed to be a ghost who haunts places where bands break down. Steals your gear, messes with your instruments, and then vanishes." The mystery begins. Inside the diner, a strange, older waitress named Maggie serves them greasy food and warns them, "You better get going before the storm hits. This place is bad luck." She tells them the legend of Billy the Phantom Thompson, a roadie who disappeared here decades ago while working for a famous band. Supposedly, his ghost comes back to torment bands who get stuck at the stop, stealing their gear as a way to keep rocking in the afterlife. Yeah, Dee Dee scoffs, munching on a burger. Just a bunch of ghost stories. But then, their instruments start disappearing. One by one, the band's guitars, amps, and drum kit vanish. The Ramones scramble around the truck stop, only to find the diner and gas station locked up tight. No one's seen anything. Clue hunting, Marky notices muddy footprints leading to an abandoned shack behind the truck stop. Joey hears strange tapping sounds echoing from the walls of the diner, almost like someone is playing a hidden drum kit. Johnny finds an old, dusty road case marked with the name of an old band from the 70s, the Rolling Thunder Band. Inside, there's a broken guitar and a faded photo of Billy Thompson holding the very same guitar that was stolen earlier. Strange occurrences. As the band goes looking for their gear, the lights flicker and the sound of an invisible guitar solo echoes through the air. Dee Dee swears he saw a shadowy figure in a leather jacket walking toward the woods carrying a bass guitar. Joey hears distorted voice recordings on the radio, something that sounds like a ghostly version of a band rehearsal from long ago, repeating "one more show, one more show." The big reveal. After tracking down the trail of stolen instruments, the Ramones discover the shack's hidden basement. Inside, they find Billy's ghost, a roadie stuck in a loop of trying to keep the rock and roll spirit alive. He's been haunting this place, thinking that if he steals instruments, the bands will keep playing, and he can relive the glory days of the road. Billy doesn't mean harm, he's just desperate to stay connected to the music. I'm sorry, guys, Billy's ghost whispers, his form flickering. I can't stop. I just want to keep rocking the dot. Joey reaches out with understanding. You were just trying to keep the music alive. But we've got to move on. It's time to let go, man. With a final chord played by the Ramones on their borrowed gear, Billy's ghost smiles, his form slowly fading into the mist. His stolen instruments are returned, and the Ramones finally get their gear back just in time for their show. Final scene, as the band plays their set in the storm, a strange guitar riff echoes in the background, the unmistakable sound of Billy's spirit still rocking out alongside them. The crowd cheers, unaware of the supernatural show happening behind the scenes. Joey looks over his shoulder, but the ghostly figure has vanished. Thanks for the help, Billy, he mutters. Hope you're at peace now. Cut to credits with Blitzkrieg Bop playing.